Hi there, and welcome back. I have just been on vacation for a few days, and I'm back to do another round of Immaculate Grid. The intro will be pretty short and sweet. The only thing that I'll say is that I think I have found out at least one iteration of an Immaculate Grid that will result in the Golden Smithers. That being a grid where you could use each of the 1992 baseball stars that comprised Mr. Smithers' all-star softball team for the Springfield nuclear power plant in The Simpsons. But yeah, I think I'll probably do that the next podcast. But for now, let's get to the grid. Okay, here's today's grid. It is July 20th, and I don't really have much to say about that except for the 300 career average. I don't tend to memorize the career averages of former baseball players, so that could give me trouble. Now, just thinking about kind of like the trends in averages, somebody from like the early 20th century would probably be a better guess than a star from, let's say the 70s, 80s, even now. Just because you had some really high averages back then. Thinking about the number, there were a few 400 hitters, Rogers Hornsby, Ty Cobb. Um, but I don't know how well I remember hitters from back in the day. But if I could think of some, and I know that they've had 3,000 plate appearances, that'll probably be the way to go. I also noticed that there's a football option here, so that I think that's new. So that might be something to check out. But for now, let's go ahead and get started on the grid. So looking at the teams, San Francisco and New York. So the player that I'm going to go with here is going to be Kevin Mitchell. Now, Kevin Mitchell is notable for a couple of reasons. He was either the tying run or the scoring run for the Mets in the '86 World Series when that ball went through Bill Buckner's legs. That in his early career, that was kind of one of the things that he was known for. But when he got to the Giants, he became a pretty major power hitter. And I feel like he may have hit 50 home runs in his peak season, after which he went to the Mariners and basically was a disappointment. It wasn't bad, but it was a big disappointment. So being a Mariners fan, I clearly remember that. But in any case, Kevin Mitchell is going to be my guess there. All right, 5%. Kansas City, San Francisco. I've gone with Vida Blue before for Oakland, San Francisco, so I'll go with him again. And with Kansas City being a team that Blue played for later in his career. There we go. And there you have him with the A's hat. Let's see. New York, Pittsburgh. Bobby Bonilla. That's probably who I'm going to go with, but I'll let that sit there. I feel like Chico Lind played for Kansas City. I know he started with Pittsburgh. He's a good fielding second baseman, not a very good hitter for major league standards, but he traveled quite a bit, as I recall, or at least he played for many years. So that's one that I'm going to hold on to as well. I think he could fill that one. Let's see. Kansas City, Cincinnati. Reggie Sanders is a name that I'm pretty sure fits there. I know him more for his years at coming up with Cincinnati as a promising outfielder. I think he played for KC too. But the one that I'm definitely going to go with right now, New York, Cincinnati. So Tom Seaver would be a good answer here, but I'm going to go with a different player, George Foster. So he was a really great slugger, mainly with the Cincinnati years, and he went to New York at the end of his career, but I believe he had 50 home runs for one of the years with the Big Red Machine. So let's see here. There we go, George Foster. All right. Let's see, Pete Rose makes sense there. That might be the one I put in. I can't think of any really old Cincinnati players. Freddie Lindstrom, I don't know if he had over 3,000 plate appearances. I don't know if he had over 300 average, but he was a great hitting third baseman for the New York Giants. Willie Mays, I think, would be a good answer there. And then Pittsburgh, I'll probably go with Honus Wagner, but let me think about that. Okay, so let's see, Reggie Sanders. I'm pretty sure that that's going to fly. There we go. Um, okay, well, I know Bobby Bonilla is a good answer there. 19%. That could be the top. Probably not. Usually they're over 20, if not 30, 40 or more. Uh, San Francisco. Okay. Let's see here. Well, let's go with Jose Lind here, and that'll determine maybe how daring I get with my other picks. Jose Lind, Chico. Guy had an amazing vertical. Okay, so Pittsburgh 300. So yeah, Honus Wagner would be, I think, probably an obvious one. Pittsburgh also had a pair of brothers who were pretty good hitting outfielders. They called Big and Little Poison. Paul Wainer was the better one. He was Big Poison. I might try that. I kind of wonder if Al Oliver had a 300 career average, or Bill Madlock for that matter, for the 70s teams. I think we'll try the San Francisco first. We'll try Freddie Lindstrom, see if that works out. Lindstrom. Oh, okay. Yes, there he is, 0.08%. Excellent. All right. Let's see, Pittsburgh 300. Yeah. Oh, let's try Big Poison. Let's see if he fills that in. There you go. 1%. All right. I could just go with Pete Rose, get the grid. And I'm sure there's some other member from the Big Red Machine who has over 300 career average. But that was a team that walked a lot. I mean, I didn't like Joe Morgan. You know, he's a good hitter, but I don't know that he consistently hit over 300. He probably did. You look at the stats, but I feel like maybe later in his career, or even during the Reds, he was more at 280, 290. Well, we're just gonna go with Pete Rose. Let's go ahead and get the complete grid. There we are. Oh, was that 91% for Pete Rose? Let me look at that. 91%, of course. Okay, well, hey, completed the grid. I want to look at those Reds teams, because I know that there's like an old-time Reds player that would have filled that. That would have got me a much lower percentage. All right, let's take a look at the Cincinnati 300 here. I'm really curious who we could have got that's not Pete Rose. So looking at this, yeah, looks like we have all career 300 hitters, so we're going to have to search for Cincinnati. But one of the things that I find interesting is that Oscar Charlton is on the list. So we have Negro League service in addition to major leagues. Now, I don't think Oscar Charlton played for a major league team, so it's unlikely to find him on an Immaculate Grid, but that's cool. Oh, Al Simmons. Okay, I know him mostly for as being a Philadelphia A, but that would be a good one. Bug Holiday, that's a great name. 1889 to 1898. He should have been on the Burns team. Bug Holiday. Well, I hope you had fun playing today's grid too, and yeah, until next time, take care, everybody.